The 2020 iPad Pro was released back in late March, and I've been using it as my main portable machine or laptop replacement for these last few months alongside the new Magic Keyboard case. And so I wanted to give you guys my full review of both the iPad Pro and the Magic Keyboard.
Before we get started, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell to get notifications whenever we share a video.
For reference, this review is based entirely around the 12.9-inch iPad Pro, and so not everything I say here will apply to the 11-inch model. So just something to keep in mind moving forward. The 2020 iPad Pro on the outside, it's gonna resemble the 2018 iPad Pro because, well, it's pretty much exactly the same, minus this larger camera bump that now houses an additional camera and a new LiDAR sensor to improve AR. And I'll be honest with you, the camera is the least used portion of my iPad Pro. I like that it's included, I like that it's there, it's always nice to have extra things, but I don't think it should be a selling point for most people, and I'm pretty sure it's not. The AR apps with this new LiDAR sensor is cool and all, but since this is the 12.9-inch model, lugging this thing around, holding it up in front of your face, or trying to play AR games, it's not ideal for long periods of time. Now, again, perhaps this would be different with the 11-inch model since, it's more compact and lighter overall. The rest of the iPad Pro, again, will feel very familiar. It's the same squared edge design, beautiful display with 120 Hz refresh rate, or what Apple calls ProMotion, and new super fast internals like the A12Z Bionic chip, which allows users like myself to edit full 4K timelines, scrubbing through no drop frames, no problems at all, heavy Lightroom photo editing, or even dabble in 3D modeling if I'd like to. All this from a tablet. The 2018 iPad Pro was already really powerful, and this new model really takes performance to the next level. The thing that really set the iPad Pro in full motion for me as my main portable computer is the new cursor support that was introduced in iOS 13.4 and the new Magic Keyboard that features a built-in trackpad. This keyboard is incredible. It features 1mm scissor switch style keys that feel fantastic to type on. It's backlit and the trackpad is buttery smooth and has a good range of available surface area to click around in. One thing to point out is, if you don't already know this, it's not like a MacBook trackpad where it is a piece of glass with a vibration to simulate a click. This is an actual physical button that will click in. And most of the time, I'm not a huge fan of physical trackpads because I'm so used to the MacBook trackpad and I think it's perfect, but this still feels really good. There's really no spot where I can't click in, and so there's really nothing to worry about there. With that said, the Magic Keyboard isn't perfect by any means. Let's start off with the gigantic price tag of $350 on top of the $999 plus that you would need to spend in order to purchase the 12.9-inch iPad Pro. Don't get me wrong, you're definitely not losing out on build quality. That's certainly there, especially since you're paying $350, you would expect that. And the experience is great compared to some of the other keyboards that I have tested, but for some of you out there, it might be worth to know that there are much cheaper alternatives that exist, and you might want to just look at those more than this. My biggest gripe with this keyboard is really the material around the case. I absolutely hate this material that Apple's been using on its smart keyboard folios and now with the Magic Keyboard. It attracts a lot of grime, fingerprints, dust, dirt, all of that, and it's really hard to clean off. And over time, the edges start to get frayed, and so depending on how you're storing it and using it, that can become a problem. That's not something that I want happening to a $350 accessory. The lack of function keys is annoying because I think if Apple wanted to, they absolutely could have fit some sort of small function key row at the top, but I think they just kind of went with aesthetic over functionality in this case, and I'm not a big fan of when companies decide to do that. And I do know that some users are upset at the lack of an easel mode or just an easy way to just start writing on the iPad Pro whenever you want, but for me personally, this didn't bother me as much, but I can see why some others might be upset. The Magic Keyboard is more designed for those who want to have a traditional laptop-like experience, but the freedom to quickly detach the iPad and use it as a tablet whenever they desire. And so that's fairly easy to accomplish a writing mode, just take it off and put it on your desk. But I know some people just don't want to do that, so maybe this isn't the right keyboard for you. At the end of the day, I do think the Magic Keyboard, in my opinion, is a necessary part of why I love the iPad Pro so much. It's what truly makes the iPad feel like a traditional computer, with the versatility of it being much more than that. I know it's capable of doing almost everything I needed to do, and when I'm traveling around to events and that all starts happening again, I have no doubt in my mind that I can just leave the MacBook at home and keep one device for multimedia consumption and for work, and I can edit any videos that I need to with no problem. Looking ahead to WWDC 2020, I'm really hoping the new version of iPadOS will improve some of the things that I don't really like about the operating system, and one of those is file management, because the Files app is just not going to cut it. You know, it's funny, I remember a lot of people complaining about Finder, and I'm sure people complain about it to this day, and how bad of a file management system it is, but I take Finder on the iPad in a heartbeat compared to what we currently have. So to sum everything up, the iPad Pro is a beast, and it can do a lot of things. But the real question during all of this, and what most people probably have, is why not just buy, or should I just buy, a MacBook Air or Pro, considering all of the money that you have to spend in order to get this iPad Pro setup? And for me, it's simple. Take a look at everything the iPad Pro is really good at, and then look at the versatility it offers on top of something like a traditional laptop. If you don't care about all of that versatility and the tablet aspect, you won't ever use an Apple Pencil or consume media or play games or use AR, etc., then sure, a MacBook Air is a cheaper and better option for you. But I think the future is absolutely bright with the iPad Pro. It's an incredible device, and iPadOS is only going to get better, or at least I hope. And I'm excited to see how Apple continues to evolve with this product in the future, because I do think it's a fantastic machine for just about anyone out there. Of course, I would love to know your thoughts. Do you have an iPad Pro? Are you loving it? Are you hating it? Let me know in the comments down below. This has been Dan with Mac Rumors. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you around in the next video.